here with National Women's Coach Terry Steiner a couple days after the World Team Trials and a couple of days before our training camp for the 2021 World Team. Just quick summary in your mind about the quality of the wrestling that we saw for the women there at the World Team Trials out in Lincoln.
Well, I thought the weights were really deep. You know, I thought that it shows the depth of our program right now and people wanting to make this team and and get on the world team. And I don't think there was a weight there that wasn't really a deep weight and highly contested. I mean, it means something to represent the USA, right? And all these athletes are coming now battling to try to make those spots. You know, I thought there was a good mix of veteran and some youth in there, and definitely the youth are pushing, right? They're pushing our veteran athletes that have been in there for a while and been around our senior national team for a while, and that's good to see that we have that youth really pushing the generation that's been in there.
So as we talk about the world team, you have to start with your 4 Olympic medalists making a decision to jump right back into the competition and go for a world title. I mean, is that what you expected? Or, you know, I mean, this is new territory, right?
Yeah.
A world championship just weeks after the Olympics. We haven't done that.
Yeah, I really didn't know. I didn't know after the Olympics how they were going to handle, you know, they had some pretty good success over in Tokyo, and how they're going to handle that, if they just want time away or if they want to get right back in it. And I think it is hard. I think it's a challenge for everyone, and you know, letting yourself come down from that high from the Olympic Games and come down and then try to get yourself back up again. It's going to be a challenge for them as athletes and for us as coaches to go into the World Championships, you know, ready to perform at a high level again. And so, you know, for the athletes to decide that, though, that they wanted to step back in here and put their names on the line right away again, and their accolades on the line again, I thought was a huge step for this program. You know, we haven't had this before when we've had our World Championships after. We have had it with the women's program after the Olympics, and we haven't had the same kind of turnout. So to have our 4 medalists come back in and say they want to compete and they want to go after a world title, I think is pretty special. And I think it shows their leadership, right? And that they want to come back and, you know, not only add to their own accolades, but try to go get that elusive world team title that has, you know, kept out of reach of ours for a long time now. And so I think that they see that as a huge motivation for them to come back in, right? And it's not just about themselves, but it's about, let's go in and do this as a team. So.
Well, and speaking of the team, obviously, you had 6 athletes, a full team at the Olympics. 4 did not medal, 4 medaled, 2 did not, but they both tried out for the world team. And Kylee Welker was able to make the team. Talk about Kylee, her ability to refocus and win a tough weight class. I mean, Welty was bringing it, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think it was a very hard position for them to be in. You know, for everyone else, they were gearing up for this event all summer, right? And for Kylee and Jakara, it was a different reality, right? They were coming down off some disappointment from the Olympic Games, and you know, having to take a little bit of time off, but then getting right back into it and trying to get themselves up to wrestle at a high level. That's a really tough thing to do. And you know, Kylee made it through, and Jakara didn't. But again, it shows the depth that we have within the program, and you know, I think they both did a good job at it. And just you know, Jenna, I thought, you know, really competed hard in this event, and you know, she was able to you know, win a 2 out of 3 series over Jakara in a hard-fought series. And again, I think they made each other better. in that series.
Yeah, and a little bit about Jenna. Obviously, the people on your team that weren't the 4 Olympic medalists, you got a little bit of a mix. Some veterans that have been to many worlds and some that haven't. And obviously, Jenna's been to the World Championships multiple times. This isn't her first rodeo. So, regardless of who won that series, which went down to last-second takedowns in all 3 matches, you've got a veteran in that weight class capable of winning the gold, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think she's definitely capable, and then we have three members of this team now that it's their first time being on the team, right? With Amy Fernside, with Maya Nelson, and with Kylee Welker, and they've all had some good age group success, but it's the first time on the senior team, and again, what I like about it is we have some great leadership in there, with Tamara, with Helen, with Adeline, with Sarah, people that have been there before, and then we have some people that are really hungry that have missed out when they've been there before. You have Kylee Welker, who's been now on a few world teams and Olympic team, and has not got herself on that award stand yet, and I think she's very motivated to do that. Forrest Molinari, I think is the same way. I think she just, was very close to a medal in 2019, I believe it was. And
well, she was 5th twice. So,
fifth twice.
Right.
So she's motivated to get back in there and get this job done. And so I like where we're sitting right now. We seem, it seems like they're a pretty motivated group right now, and they have a goal in mind, not only as an individual but as a team. And what I like about that is sometimes you need that extra motivation, right? Sometimes doing it for yourself is not enough, but there is another team goal here, right, and a program goal to get that world team title. So I think they're all motivated for that.
Yeah, I mean, we have only won 1 senior world title, 1999, right? It's a long time. It's 22 years later. But the U.S. won a couple of age group team titles this year on the women's side. So, I mean, it's been a good year for the women's program. As a coach, what would you think would be the kind of outcome that would continue the momentum that we've been getting?
Well, I think it's obvious. I think we have the team that can win. I think we're going there for one purpose, is to bring home that team title. Now, it's not going to come without a challenge, right? We're going to have our challenges over at the World Championships, and we're going to have to perform at a high level, and I see it as we're going to have, probably 6, 7, 8 medals to get that job done, right? But I think everyone's capable, right? It's just a matter of getting out and competing hard, and staying within themselves and going out and doing the job.
So one of your team members is a high school senior, right? In a battle of 2 high school wrestlers for the spot at 72. But I don't think the senior athletes around the world, outside maybe some that watch the stream at Junior Worlds, will know much about Kylee Welker. How do you see her just jumping right into that fray? Obviously, she has shown no fear in anything the last couple of years in her ability to go out and have big performances.
Well, she's spent a lot of time around our top athletes, right? She spent a year here at the training center around Tamara Mensah and around Adeline Gray, and I think it's showing, right? It's showing. She's used to having to compete at a high level every day in the practice room, and so that helps. That helps someone grow, and I think that Kylee has really matured over the last year and a half, 2 years, and really developed as an athlete, and she seems to be getting stronger every day. Every time she steps on that mat, she seems a little bit better out there and a little bit more comfortable within the realm she's in right now. So we expect great things. She's made the U.S. team. When you make a U.S. team, we feel that you're in a position to medal.
And obviously Amy Fernside, who has wrestled at a high level internationally and in the country for many years, but yeah, popped the world team victory, right? She gets to have her shot. I had changed weights of 53. Seems like a healthy weight for her. What will Amy need to do to get on that podium?
I just think consistency. She's shown that she can perform at a very high level. She's won some international events. She was second at the U23 Worlds a few years back. She's shown that she can compete at a high level. I think we just need the consistency for 4 or 5 matches right now going into the Worlds, and again, she's been in a situation where she's been stuck between a rock and a hard place, right? She's had Sarah Hildebrand to deal with. She's had Victoria Anthony to deal with. Those kind of competitors, and then on the other side, she's had Jakara Winchester. So she's just kind of been caught in there. But again, every day she comes into that practice room, it's a tough practice, and she hasn't had a choice but to either step it up and compete at a higher level, or you just get beat up on a daily basis. So and she's really done a good job of just staying in that fight and working hard every day and staying focused and focusing on what she can do to be successful day to day, and her growth has shown.
Yeah, people knew that Maya Nelson had some abilities, especially after winning a junior world title. But, she's getting her senior shot this time. What's Maya going to need to meet what her potential is against the best?
Well, I think maybe one of Maya's best competitions that I've seen is the Pan Am Championships in the spring, this past spring in 2021. She beat the current world champion from Canada in that event, and just did a really good job of just staying focused. They weren't easy matches. She came from behind, but really just stayed strong, and she's spent this summer with the Olympic team as a training partner. I think she gained a lot of valuable experience from that, and I think she has high expectations for herself right now, and that means a lot when an athlete goes in believing in themselves and who they are. You can't replace that confidence with anything. So I think she's gone in feeling pretty good right now.
So as a team, you guys are getting together in New York for a couple of days, really, if you look at it. It's a different preparation cycle than anyone's ever had, obviously. What can you achieve in the last few days before you jump on a plane and take this very strong team over to Oslo?
Really, I think it's just reassuring them of what they bring to the table and what they have. I think we have to really just zero in on that. Bring the team together so they bond together as a group, but then help them find their own strengths and make sure they realize what their strengths are, each one of them, and what they bring to the table. And I think if we can do that, I think we're going to go into Oslo feeling pretty good. So.
Yeah, and obviously, the efforts of our women in Tokyo have put additional attention on the program, and the growth of women's wrestling right now is something that we can all be proud of. A good performance in Oslo, how do you think that'll help even continue that excitement that's around the program at this time?
Well, I think that's what we need to show as a program, right? We need to show that we're consistent in what we do, from competition to competition, right? And some people will look at that as pressure, feeling some pressure, but pressure is a privilege, right? And then we put ourselves in a position right now that people are talking about the American team, and we should take that, as a compliment, right? And help that, let that help us, let that push us forward, right? And instead of putting a burden on us, right? We have a real opportunity ahead of us in Oslo, and I hope we look at it like that as a team, right? As individuals, I hope we look at it like that. Like we have an opportunity not only to build on our individual legacies, right, as athletes, but also to really put a stamp on this generation with this program, right? It's the one thing they haven't done yet is win a world team title, and they've pretty much accomplished everything else that we could have asked, but the one thing that has eluded us is that world team title. So that's what we're after.
Well, appreciate your time, Coach. I know we'll talk again before we get to Oslo, and have a good week of training next week. Huh?
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.